time she's rolling.
Hi, it's Martin Moreno, chilling here with In the Now magazine. And if you're not in the now, you're in the nothing. Right?
So that's it, man. Exactly. So you're out with the big Gabriel tour here.
Yes.
How's that been going for you?
Well, this is the first. Well, not the first. The tour's been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of one of those endless tours.
Correct. Yeah. We've been pretty much rolling for about 10 years. We've been on the road, bro.
Nice.
And, yeah. Now, about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago was when we rolled out with Comedy Central. And that was the Fluffy Shop tour. Mm-hmm. And now we're doing the Stand Up Revolution tour, which also Comedy Central backed up.
And it's like I was saying in my last interview, it was, just my perception is the comedians I saw tonight seemed to really mesh well together, and it was just a nice even flow in between each comic.
Well, a lot of times when you get booked for a show doing comedy, you're gonna end up working with people that you don't know, mm-hmm. People that you've never met before. We're like pretty much rolling with people that we've known for years. We're friends in and out of work, so mm-hmm. It's not like when you go to work and you're there with strangers. Mm-hmm.
You actually go to these guys' houses and hang out.
Yeah.
Have dinner with these guys.
Correct.
And,
so it's you can't fake a chemistry. Like people just have it or you don't.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about your comedy history. When did you know that this was something that you wanted to do?
My whole life. Yeah, my whole life I wanted to do it. I just never started until really late. I started when I was in I was 30 years old when I first started.
Wow.
So, which is a late start for
mm-hmm.
those guys. But by then I'd already been married twice. And I had a few run-ins with shit, so I had a little bit of things to talk about.
So you had some material already ready to start talking about.
Yeah. You get to a point where you're just like, you know what, you gotta laugh about it. Mm-hmm. And most people will laugh with you.
Mm-hmm. Now, being out on the road and touring, is there any particular city or part of the country that when you guys go out on the road, you're like, man, I can't wait to get back out to Chicago or New York?
There's so many. I don't say that with exaggeration. I mean, there's things that I remember that have happened in Denver. There's things that I remember that have happened here in Wichita. Mm-hmm. And there's things that we talk about Kalamazoo or Lincoln, Nebraska. Or just so many. Like I said, when you're on the road for 10 years, it's like everything, and you keep going back to some of these cities and towns. Mm-hmm. They just become a part of your life, where it's like where you grew up. The type of is like you'll always have a connection to where you grew up. Mm-hmm. But if you're the kind of person that grew up like a military person per se, a military kid mm-hmm. who's traveled to a bunch of different places, all those places take meaning to them. So I think it's the same thing when you're on the road for a long time. You start becoming connected to a lot of these places.
Mm-hmm. On the subject of being here in Wichita tonight, what did you think of the audience tonight?
Great, amazing audience, great energy.
And I guess it was sold out?
It sold out a while back, yeah.
So that's
it looks,
a good thing.
The sides are packed out. It's freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. It's freaking amazing. But they've always, the people here in Wichita have always been really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I think this is our third time here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah, and before that we did the Looney Bin freaking years ago. So.
Yeah, and man, that place has got some history there.
Yeah, it was awesome, bro. It was an amazing club to perform at.
Do you remember the first time playing the Looney Bin? Do you remember your experiences from that?
Yes, I remember. I remember getting there and just the dude that picked us up was a character and a half. The owner of the Looney Bin. What the heck is his name?
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a stand-up guy. Stand-up guy all the way around. He knows everybody. He's been there, done that. But he was just, he's a character.
Oh yeah.
To say the least. So he treated us with nothing but love. I remember going in there. They had just gotten that smokeless system that sucks up all the smoke. Mm-hmm. So you can smoke there, but you don't bug anybody that's around you. So he was pretty excited about that. And, that was like a big thing back then. The crowd wasn't sold out. I think we came here and it wasn't sold out, but it was, it was a good crowd. Our first time in Wichita. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this was years and years and years ago.
Made an impression on you. Keeps bringing you back.
Yeah, dude. No, and like I said, since then, we've been here at the Cotillion. This is want to say the third time.
Yeah, I think it is.
And the crowds just keep getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, I mean, dude, Gabe's killing it. They got him everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you guys killed it too. I mean,
sure.
You know, just my first time seeing you guys perform tonight, I was pleasantly surprised. I was highly entertained, and you know, trying to take pictures and trying not to laugh while I'm taking the picture. That's a hard thing to do. And you know, I mean, you guys had the audience in your hand and had them right where you wanted them. So.
I don't know. They were like I said, they were freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of your influences, comedian-wise. Who are maybe 2 or 3 of your main influences?
Some of the first comedy that I saw early on was Eddie Murphy, which led me to find Richard Pryor. I think that a lot of the guys. I mean, when I was growing up, I saw Paul Rodriguez. I thought he was like amazing.
I love that guy.
Dice Clay, and a lot of those guys, and you just look at them and you're like, wow, that's how do they do that? Like, how do they just go up there and make people laugh like that? Now that I'm a comic, there's so many guys that are like amazing. Somebody like a Sam Kinison, who's passed away. A lot of comics like to bring up a lot of the guys that have passed away, but they just change comedy forever. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there now trying to scream like Sam
Dangerfield.
Dangerfield's amazing. Pryor, greatest. Carlin. Dude, it just goes on and on and on. But I love all comedy, and I respect pretty much most of y'all comics. I look at it as the last bastion of real free speech. You can go up there and say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. And not have any censorship at all.
No, not at all. And that's very rare. Where sometimes they'll say, oh well, you shouldn't have touched on this, you shouldn't have touched on that. But at the end of the day, if you can manage to make it funny, nobody cares what the hell you're talking about. As long as it was funny and you made them like look at it in a way where they can laugh about it. Nothing is real taboo. I've seen people make bestiality funny. I've seen people make freaking necrophilia funny. Which you sat there and said, you know what, we're going to talk about screwing dead people. You'd be like, you're out of your freaking mind. And somebody just says, you know what, no, I can make that funny. And if you can, holy shit, I applaud you for doing that.
On that subject, is there anything that you try not to touch on when you're working up your material? I try not to censor myself. I'm a big advocate for free speech, but I know that Fluffy has a huge fan base of kids. They love him, and I start the show off by saying that he has a huge fan base of kids, and if the parents don't want them exposed to adult content or point of views, take them out in the hallway. So I do try to, if I do see there's a lot of kids in the room, obviously it's not appropriate, so you do tone it down for them. But other than that, if it's just, if there are no children in the room, then I think everything is fair game. Nice.
Again, as long as it's funny.
Let's talk a little bit about what you got coming up after this tour. I know there's gonna be a little break on this tour. Are you gonna maybe go out and do some of your own stand-up gigs?
We got a little break after the tour. This is actually the final run on the bus for a minute. We've got but it's not really a break.
Yeah.
We're taping season 2 of Stand Up Revolution on Comedy Central.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be taping that, and it'll air in the fall. But leading up to that, it's going to be a lot of preparation and work that goes into the filming, leading up to the show date. Besides that, I picked up a few gigs, some of the clubs across the country, hitting up a few cities in Florida, Iowa, Northern California, and a couple other spots.
Nice. So you're definitely keeping pretty busy in your downtime, but not really downtime.
It's never downtime. I mean, it slows down, but it's not really. You're going. And the truth is, man, this is the only thing I've ever done in my life where I've never found an excuse not to go. Everything else I've ever done, I've always tried to call it sick. I've been sick. I've been hungover. I've been sick, and if I can still talk, I'll still go on stage just because I want to do it. So it's to take time off from what you really love doing is kind of like, what would you do? 100%. I had way too much sex, and we'll get off now. Or not get off like that. Anyway,
Nice.
just thinking out loud.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I do that quite a bit. Most of the time, I put my foot in my mouth.
Hey. I've seen some people into those fetishes.
Yeah.
Not their own
Hey,
foot, but
hey.
feet. Whatever. It's cool.
Nice. Hey, that's
I
not the
won't,
one
I
on the
won't,
website.
I won't judge you.
Nice. Well, man, that kind of covered everything, definitely.
All right, cool.
I
It was a
appreciate
pleasure,
you
man.
taking time to chat with us
No,
today.
my pleasure. Thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, much success.